Talk about stacking the deck against Okada there for Judgment Day. AJ Styles laid out backstage. Strength in numbers for the Riott squad. Tanga lower backstage now. This time Fale is laid out. There's Asuka. Assaulted the Smackdown Women's Champion Becky Lynch. Jay White and Tonga. Blade Runner, go to sleep. And we all wanted to know who was behind this. Out he comes, it's Christian James! The SmackDown General Manager is back! The counter-revolution started! Let there be war on SmackDown Live! Hello and welcome Universe Mode. This is SmackDown Live. We are days away from Judgment Day as it comes up this Sunday. It's a huge night for SmackDown Live and there's going to be huge matches. We all saw the chaos last week in SmackDown Live and I imagine there will be more tonight as we await to see what happens heading into Judgment Day. Oh, you are kidding me again? Second week in a row now, AJ Styles and Shane McMahon backstage. And Styles far than pleased about what happened last week and the return of Christian James to SmackDown Live, demanding answers about it. Oh, it is a troublesome time for these two. We saw Shane's true colors last week. And we're seeing them again tonight as well. Not abandoning the cause. That shows you the levels of this general manager. Certainly unbiased. AJ Styles is pretty pleased about it as well. But turning their minds to more pressing matters, it would seem, to Finn Bálor. What are they going to do about Bálor here tonight seems to be the topic of discussion. And oh, once again he feeds into the palm of AJ Styles' hand. A handicap match for Bálor tonight against the Dangerous Alliance. That is sickening, but as we kick things off with that, folks, right away, a huge announcement for Judgment Day. Becky Lynch will defend her SmackDown Women's Championship against the Empress Asuka. Coming up this Sunday, after what we saw on SmackDown Live, you know that's going to be a big one. Already a significant talking point as this evening's action gets underway. And we will continue on from there. Finn Bálor with the deck stacked against him for tonight's main event, but as for right now, it is time for the arrival of the man who coins himself the savior of SmackDown Live, Ricochet, in action to start things off on SmackDown. The leader of the Saviours, the man responsible for putting Kota Ibushi on the injured shelf and sending Tetsuya Naito away from SmackDown Live and back to ECW. This trio has been an eventful one in its short tenure. They've already left a tremendous impact on SmackDown Live, and Ricochet looks to continue that here tonight with a matchup against more depth signings to SmackDown Live. Curt Hawkins to meet Ricochet this evening. After question where or what the future holds for the Saviours. I mean, I know it's this Sunday, but the fact is they've had 2 weeks to plan things out from Money in the Bank, and it's not as if we're exactly set up or stacked with matches for Judgment Day. We have the title matches decided, that much I know. And then we have, that actually might be all of it, I think. Is that everything? Or there might be, well, there's certainly something regarding Ruby Riott and Paige, maybe to still be developed. I think that was something coming out of last week. Aside from that, I really don't know, folks. I don't know what to say regarding this Sunday's card. What I do know for tonight, Ricochet is ready to go and ready chalk up another win in his victory books. And going straight out of the gate and straight away into power. Northern Lights suplex, floats over, twisting suplex. The savior of SmackDown Live wasting little time in getting things moving. You can imagine tonight's SmackDown Live will be as hectic as the last week's one, especially with the return of SmackDown Live General Manager Christian James to the fray. What will he have any say here tonight upon his return? You saw the concern with AJ Styles discussing how he's been sent to the bottom of the barrel, courtesy of the SmackDown General Manager. Tragic shame, if you ask me. That was sarcasm. Ricochet now, though, look at the strength of this man. German superplex to Curt Hawkins. Well, Hawkins was looking for an opportunity, and I don't think he's going to find one in this contest right now. Ricochet poised to take victory. He goes up to the top rope already. Is he looking to put it away? Is he thinking 630? No. Calling Hawkins to his feet right now. What could happen? Oh, spinning heel kick from the top rope. Hawkins, I'm surprised he's still able to stay up on his feet. Though with a DDT like that, you can't imagine it's going to be for much longer. This is all about Ricochet right now, as he has looked to make it all about the Saviours as well across SmackDown Live. You know big things are coming the way of this group. You just question when. But what I think it's safe to assume is that the end of the match is on its way. Downward spiral by Ricochet. No need to question which way this is gonna go. 630 from Ricochet. Strong and Gulak watch on as it's all over. Ricochet has won it. Shock and horror for the savior of SmackDown Live. Ricochet, your winner. The early goings here. What does the future hold, though, is the big question for this group. Where do they go from here? I wonder. We will find out, but right now, things looking good for Ricochet as we head towards Judgment Day. Will he be on that card, I wonder? Will he feature on it in any way? We will remain to find out. Hang on, that seems like a signal, though, because the Saviours have got in the ring, but there's helping hand on its way. Ziggler taking care of Gulak and Strong. It seems as if they were poised to attack Hawkins. Ziggler put a stop to it, and he made the save. Knocked Strong out of the ring. And a super kick to Gulak takes him down. Ziggler disposing of the Saviours and looking at the leader of the group, Ricochet, eyeing him up. The Saviours may have found their next target. Oh boy, it's going to be another one of these shows. Another hectic one right from the very get-go. First, the declaration from AJ Styles and Shane McMahon. And then what we just saw. Ziggler coming to the aid of Curt Hawkins. We don't know what the future of Dolph Ziggler is as a tag team wrestler, but as a singles wrestler, he's absolutely getting involved, and he's absolutely helping to put a stop to Ricochet and the Saviours' actions. We'll see if anything will develop from that as the show goes on. But coming up right now, ladies and gentlemen, a slight preview to the tag team title match we have coming your way at Judgment Day this Sunday. Punishment Martinez is going to square up one-on-one against Bad Luck Fale. It's going to be a pretty big horse match. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be two huge men colliding in this ring. Muscle mass, locking horns with one another as we wait to see who will leave with victory, who will leave with a, what would be the best way to put it, with a momentum boost, with a little bit of a moral victory over their opponents heading into that tag team title match. Punishment Martinez and Killian Dane, of course, will challenge for the WWE tag team titles. They will challenge for the gold held by Tanga and Bad Luck Fale this Sunday. Eric Young, the leader of SAnitY, but a man who's certainly got his own actions going on, as we saw last week on Smackdown Live, taking a chair shot. No, sorry, it wasn't a chair, just getting SAnitY involved in its hole. Match against Sin Cara, second time in recent memory. Eric Young's got himself disqualified in one-on-one action. It seems to be only in Eric Young matches as well, SAnitY matches. It does not take place, but what I do know right here, right now, is that Punishment Martinez probably won't want to get disqualified. He'll probably want to go right to work on Bad Luck Fale, and Fale will want the same in return. You can believe we're going to have a big-time fight feel between these two men. I wouldn't quite call it a horse match, but it's definitely going to be two brutes colliding with one another. And of course, if SAnitY will come out in their full, then the Originals, or the Gorillas of Destiny rather, will do a portion of the same. Fale coming to the ring with his tag team champion, Tanga. Big night, of course, once again for the Originals come Sunday. These two men, of course, defending their tag team titles. Becky Lynch going to look to defend her Smackdown Women's Championship. Tonga as well. These men's brother defending his Intercontinental Championship against the Switchblade Jay White, who we'll see in action later on this evening. Doesn't seem as if anything is going to be featuring AJ Styles at Judgment Day, and that is little surprise given the announcement from Christian James last week upon his return to Smackdown Live. Weird, is there? As one GM returns one week, the next, another is seemingly taken out by Brock Lesnar. Spoilers for Monday Night Raw if you haven't seen that already, but you need to go and see it. If you're in a rush, I implore you, go watch the closing moments of that show. We will have an update for you on Raw, ladies and gentlemen. Good or bad, right now we don't know. But we will have an update. That much I can assure you. Right now, though, we're underway here with Martinez versus Fale, and it's Bad Luck Fale bringing out a pretty interesting move there, using the ropes to stretch the body of Punishment Martinez back, and then just dumping him. Suplex toss there. A former rugby player. And Fale coming out of the gates early on Martinez, slamming him down into the mat. And now splashing himself down into the mat. Huge splash from Fale. Cover made. Kick out. Bad Luck Fale taking the early go-ins in this contest, but a good counter there by Martinez. Slips him open a ways, but look at that clothesline. Doesn't even take Fale off his feet. The second time, though, it most certainly does. And it seems as if I may have been wrong. Eric Young sliding in a chair. Maybe he does want SAnitY to get DQ'd. But right now, Martinez paying it no state of mind. Huge knee in the corner. Martinez going to work. Big time DDT on Bad Luck Fale there. May have aimed for the chair for all we know. Didn't get what he wanted though. Cover made now. Looking to put away Fale right here and now. Doesn't happen. Quick strike there from Martinez. Stopped though by Bad Luck Fale. These guys just sharing a lot of strikes with one another. What are we going to see now from Fale? Oh my goodness, what a shoulder tackle. Just pounced on him. Charged in with that shoulder tackle, but Eric Young enabled the opportunity for Martinez to get back in this one. Fale couldn't capitalize on that huge move of his. But look at this, Martinez can't even get Fale up on his shoulders. Oh! And then striking him across the face. Fale will demonstrate some strength now by slamming him down. That chair's still there. Hopefully it doesn't feature in this contest. I could see it coming from the SAnitY side, especially more so than the side of Fale, who probably just wants to win this match and move on. And that chair, of course, so close to SAnitY as well. Not much the Tanga can do about it. Sure, he would like to, though. Snapmare now by Martinez. Big boot follow-up. Caught him flush with that one. Goes into the cover. Looking to put away Fale. Yeah. Oh, good kick out from Fale, but a good kick in the face from Martinez. These two guys impressing right now in singles competition. As, of course, they prepare for that contest. Come Sunday. Huge headbutt. Huge headbutt for Martinez. Fale finding himself in trouble right now. The underboss going to need to find an opening if he wants to beat Martinez here. Knee in the face there by Martinez. Looked for a shot. Oh, and he's taken down. And then some by Fale, who will pull the pin. Grenade! And Eric Young will get involved in this one, distracting the referee. Fale unable to put him away. I think Fale was contemplating going for the chair there. I'm surprised he didn't. First time, of course, we've seen Fale in action since Money in the Bank, since himself and Tanga turned on Finn Bálor and let their allegiance known. And let Finn Bálor know he was cast out of the originals. Look out right now! South of heaven for Martinez! All he needed was a slight opening, and he found it. And he jumped on it. And he looks to finish it. South of heaven. Cover from Martinez for victory over Fale heading into this Sunday. He's got him. Martinez wins it. And a huge victory for the challengers heading into the tag team title match. Tanga looks on in disbelief and annoyance, but that is the case as it stands right now. SAnitY perhaps on their way to tag team titles. Martinez doing the job here over Fale. But you know things are going to be turned up a notch on pay-per-view. Judgment Day is calling for these two groups. Well, it seems if the way we're going, we're in for another quick night here. We'll see how that one will hold up. But as for right now, ladies and gentlemen, finally, after 2 months, it's time for the debut on Smackdown Live of Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. They're going to go up in tag team action here against the Riott squad. They, of course, have their own talking points coming out of last week's episode of Smackdown Live. Saw a brief glimpse of it, and that was basically all we saw the Riott squad last week, a brief glimpse of them. It was supposed to be Paige versus Ruby Riott, as they had been, for over these last few weeks, really, they were kind of getting up one another's skin. They were kind of frustrating one another, and it was all going to lead to this big match here on Smackdown Live last week. But as Paige made her way to the ring, the Riott squad jumped her, laid her out, rolled her in the ring, and it was just down to a 1-2-3 from Ruby Riott to put her away. She didn't have to stretch a muscle, essentially. But as for now, the Riott squad have to turn their attention elsewhere, as they have to deal with the duo who call themselves Absolution in Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. As I said, finally making their debut on Smackdown Live, having been drafted over from Monday Night Raw in the week-long draft period. Here comes Deville towards the ring right now. And I wonder what kind of an impact they can make in the early goings here. I believe it's Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan they'll be taking on. Ruby Riott, of course, will be at ringside. There's no doubt about that one, that she's going to want to get involved if needs be. Of course, there may well be the Women's Championship match coming up this weekend between Asuka and Becky Lynch, but Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose could unintentionally do Paige a favor and help her out regarding her saga against the Riott squad. And here they come in full force, out second this time, so it's not as if they could have got a jump on either of them. Ruby Riott will lead her compatriots towards the ring as Morgan and Logan prepare for this contest. I wonder what will be running through Ruby Riott's head following last week. What will be running through the Riott squad head? Will it be the same level of confidence as normal? Will it still be the idea that they have one over on Paige? I suppose we will find out. I wouldn't be surprised. I was informed after finally, for the first time in a long time, having a meeting and a talk with Christian James for an episode of Smackdown Live. It's actually quite nice to have some old times back. But I was informed, he said that come the end of this evening he would have announcements for me to state regarding Judgment Day this Sunday, some matches to be announced right at the end of the show. And so I would imagine that we're probably going to be seeing an announcement to say that Ruby Riott and Paige will be meeting. I would be quite surprised if that didn't end up happening. But right now we focus on this tag team matchup. It's Mandy Rose against Liv Morgan right now to start things off here. Liv getting a little bit confident as she walked over the body of Mandy Rose, who made her pay. God's greatest creation, as she calls herself. Mandy Rose now. Backbreaker and stretching at the back of Liv Morgan. That's not going to do her any favors, especially when she's in the corner of Absolution as well. And especially when a woman like Sonya Deville is waiting on the outside to get in this one, and she won't have to wait much longer. Deville getting the tag in, and now the strikes will be about to rain down by Deville. Liv Morgan will be hoping to try and get Sarah Logan in this contest as soon as possible. Oh, Deville went for Logan early on. She paid for it. Big counter from Logan. Morgan, I think, was still a little bit dazed there. That might have been why she missed the turnbuckle. Snapmares her back in the ring there. Deville got cracked hard though. And again. Flurry of strikes there, and the Riott squad trying to run this match in the best way that they can with an element of chaos in the ring. Tag made now. Logan, the legal woman in this one. Drop toe hold. Elbow drop on the small of the back of Sonya Deville. Big time Pele now. And look at that. Huge time leap as well, and the tag is made. Mandy Rose is in here. Lariat in the back of Sarah Logan. Forearms there as well. Mandy Rose looking to try and make an impact here. I think Deville headed in too hot-headed maybe, and the Riott squad put her in her place. You can understand why Absolution want to prove themselves. They haven't had the opportunity to yet, but in their first match on Smackdown Live, trying to come out of the gate so quickly against a group like the Riott squad, they could pay for it. Huge forearm in the face there. That staggered Sarah Logan. Roll up by Mandy. I'm surprised that isn't a rope break, to be honest. Only got a 1 count anyway. Another damage as Sarah Logan can go to work. Body punch. And once again, tag is made. In comes Liv Morgan here. Good work from the Riott squad so far in terms of their tagging. And they will flip around the move they did the first time. Huge DDT from Morgan there. Absolutely planted her into the mat. God, that looked devastating. In the turnbuckle now. Look out. Monkey flip from Morgan. Mandy Rose not in the best shape right now. Not exactly flurrying as much as she would have hoped for. Good forearm from Morgan there. But like I said, the Riott squad, their group mentality seeming to be shining over that of Absolution's. Step up in Zaguri. Takes her down. Morgan getting fired up now. Morgan has something in mind. Guillotine incoming, but wait on the outside. Paige has arrived. Paige jumped over the barricade. And as the guillotine was locked in the ring, outside of it, into the barricade. Snake eyes. Morgan was watching on briefly. She let go of the hold and she paid for it. Mandy Rose steals one. Absolution win it, but on the outside. Rampage DDT connects. Paige assists Absolution's victory. And they did her a favor over the Riott squad. Strength in numbers didn't work this time around. The Riott squad leveled. Paige, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, intentional or not, working together. And that was certainly an interesting one, ladies and gentlemen. As this card seems to fly by as we get closer and closer to Judgment Day, we move into our next contest of the evening. The #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship in action. Up next, it will be time to breathe with the Switchblade on Smackdown Live. Jay White will finally get his opportunity at that Intercontinental title of Tama Tonga's with, hopefully, no invasions this time around. The last time himself and Tama Tonga looked to go one-on-one for the title. Marty Scurll made his arrival on SmackDown Live, invaded the title match, and laid out both men, proving that he was neither on the side of SmackDown Live or the originals. He was on the side of the villain. But Jay White got his wish 2 weeks ago. He came out and he challenged Tanga to a rematch. Tanga accepted it. And now, at Judgment Day, the Switchblade and the Bad Boy will face off against one another. Jay White been hunting that Intercontinental title now since Backlash, and before then. He now looks, though, to get his hands on it this Sunday. As for this evening, a tune-up match for him. More depth being introduced. Remember, everyone, whenever I say depth, put air quotes on it. Mojo Rawley will make his debut here on Smackdown Live as he goes one-on-one against Jay White. Good opportunity for Mojo, but we know Jay White is going to be so focused and so determined to claim what would be a second championship this year. His first on Smackdown Live, of course, having won the ECW Television Championship at the start of this year at New Year's Revolution. White, though, got a bit of a work cut out for him. Mojo, a taller athlete and bulkier as well. But Jay White getting out of the gates here strong and going to work in the early phase here. I think he's just looking to try and control this contest. Suplex got him. And now, oh, look at this. The confidence of the Switchblade shining through. Foot on the gut of Mojo. He kicks out at 2. You know, it's going to be a tough time, I think, for Tanga this Sunday, as he is taking on a guy who has faced some of the very best. He's taking on a guy who has faced the best. Took Seth Rollins to the limit. The ECW Championship back in September at Anarchy Rules. Jay White knows what he's doing in that ring. He's fought some of the baddest already this year, having faced the likes of Kyle O'Reilly, Andrade Cien Almas, and of course at WrestleMania, locking horns with Corin. Yes, he came out in the losing end of things, but that doesn't change the fact that White already knows what it's like to be a champion and already knows what it's like to face some of the toughest out there. But Mojo right now starting to get some offense in of his own, starting to cause maybe a little bit of doubt to seep into the mind of the Switchblade. Big time splash in the corner for Mojo. Incredible agility and athleticism from the big guy. Double splashes. Full Nelson slam now. Jay White in a little bit of trouble. Covers made for the victory. Almost sealed a huge upset win. One that would have put a smile on the face of the Intercontinental Champion. That may be a concern for Tanga, is that Jay White's already faced some of the toughest this universe has to offer. Tanga has spent the majority of his time in this universe as a tag team wrestler. So Jay White, when he pounces, and he can, as he does there with the Kiwi Crusher, could put Tanga in a huge bit of trouble. And look out now, Cobra, clutch suplex, dumping it on his head once again after the Regoplex, slice of the throat, and maybe a preview to this Sunday. If he hits this, we'll have a new champion. Blade Runner connects. And from laying out Tanga in the parking lot last week to laying out Mojo Rawley in the ring, Jay White, your winner. A strong preview, uh-oh. Jay White, not a moment to celebrate his win. There won't be fighting this week. There will be a stare down. Tanga with the Intercontinental title in his hands. But the big question to be asked for Judgment Day, will the bad boy breathe with the Switchblade? Oh, a stare down there between the women who will meet for the title. Not coming to blows. They'll wait until Sunday. But coming up right now, ladies and gentlemen, it's our main event of the evening. Finn Bálor once again put in a precarious predicament by the man he thought was his own family, as he prepares for this handicap match against the brutes of the Dangerous Alliance in Sheamus and Bobby Lashley. First time we've seen this man since Money in the Bank, and you know what? Since then, I feel for Finn Bálor. I feel his pain. I'm not saying I'm on his side again, but Just had the people who he thought was his family betray him. That has to hurt. And then some. Fale heads towards the ring right now. Poised and ready to go. For this contest. Deck stacked against him or not, that is not going to change the fact that Finn Bálor will held out here with a smile on his face. But I wonder, will that confidence, will that ego that he had in the originals, will it almost be knocked back a peg now that he realizes he's on his own? He's got no brothers to look to. He's got no bodyguard to accompany him towards the ring. Finn Bálor is on his own once again. Like I said, after Money in the Bank, he was essentially the leader of the originals in just its name. That's all that he had, because there was nothing showing that the originals wanted him even in their group, and I imagine that is far from the case now. Bálor evicted, a brother kicked out by his family and left to fend for himself. But I imagine, a man has to atone for his sins. And Finn Bálor certainly, if he wants to win back the respect of the locker room of Smackdown Live, of the crowd, and of the general manager, he's going to have to do a damn good job of making up for his past deeds. And one way to do that would be to fight with his heart and not with his ego in this contest, because he's certainly got a tough one ahead of him. Bobby Lashley on his own would be a tough enough man. But two physical, imposing men, it's not going to be an easy one. Lashley heading towards the ring. Dangerous Alliance, of course, have had their little run-in at Backlash with Bobby Roode. I alluded to this last week. Roode, of course, haven't seen him since Backlash. Haven't seen Fish either since Backlash. The only member of the Dangerous Alliance we've seen since then was... we've seen Lashley and Sheamus in action. We saw Lashley, I think the last time we saw him, he got a steel chair across his head by Eric Young. Sheamus, we saw last week, being defeated by Dolph Ziggler. So maybe that could give Bálor a little bit of confidence, knowing that the last time these two guys were in action, they didn't really perform all that well. And Bálor, of course, being a two-time world champion and a three-time intercontinental champion, he may well have an upper hand here. Here comes Outlast in this one. He may well be his countryman, but he's certainly not going to be a blood brother for him tonight. He's certainly not going to help out a man of his own nation. The Celtic warrior poised to do things his own way. And that is the way of the Dangerous Alliance. Paul Heyman, as you can see, not accompanying these guys towards the ring. Quite interesting that is the case. It won't change the fact that the Dangerous Alliance will do exactly what is instructed of them. Put the hurt on Finn Bálor and make life for the originals, whether they want to or not, that much easier. I highly doubt that they want that to be the case. Sheamus, though, heading towards the ring. Himself and Lashley, they may not care for the originals, but I imagine they care less for Finn Bálor. All they'll want to do is put the hurt on him and win in this main event. They've got a 2-on-1 advantage to do it with, and they have the muscle advantage, the height advantage, the strength advantage. Finn Bálor really with the odds stacked against him, and I think that's why, if he was to fight with his heart, if he was to come back, dig down deep from within and come back and win this one, I would be very impressed by Bálor, and I think it would go a long way to atoning for those sins, many of which he has to repay for from the originals. Tell you what though, this helps out Bálor a little bit right now. The fact that it is a tag team version of this. He doesn't have to take on both men at the same time. Lashley will start this one, trying to act a little bit confident. Bálor not interested as he comes in there with a sling blade early on. Finn Bálor out of the gates, not wasting a moment here. Look at that! Right away, putting things into a high gear. But oh, Bobby Lashley just able to put the stop to it immediately. absolutely clattered him with that clothesline, knocks him silly with that strike, and a full Nelson slam way up in the air. Bálor could have been almost 7 feet in the air for that one before he came down on the mat. But that won't stop this man from fighting back. Bálor doing a good job here of returning some... Oh, never mind. Bálor went for a big risk, but Sheamus on the apron, able to put a momentary halt to it. Bálor though up to his feet first. But Lashley was lying in wait to capitalize. Snap suplex now, floats over, cover made. That's a rope break. Like I said though, Bálor's got this little advantage now. Tag team matchup. I thought it was going to be both of them in the ring at the same time, in which case it would have been near impossible for Bálor to pick up the win. Now there's a chance. It's still a slim chance, but there is a chance at least. He could leave with victory here. Sheamus now coming in off the tag. Fellow Irishman collide with Finn Bálor. And he is colliding right now with a fist into the face of Bálor. Back elbows now, vicious brutality from the Celtic Warrior, my goodness. No love lost between these two. Victimizing Finn Bálor. And you better believe, huddled probably in one locker room around one TV, the originals are watching this and they're laughing and they're enjoying every moment of it. Because this was what they wanted. This was what AJ Styles wanted, and now he gets to enjoy it. Good counter by Bálor there, though, to get himself back in this one. Another sling blade connects, following up from it. Here goes Bálor, DDT on Sheamus. He may be down, but he'll do his best to make sure he's never out of it. Oh, just devastating strength from Sheamus there. Pulling the body of Finn Bálor back there, but Bálor coming back here. More strikes to his name. He's probably feeling the effect of this contest already, but that's not going to keep him down. But an uppercut down well has a good chance of taking care of that. Sheamus now using his strength to overpower him. Fall away slam. And you hear snippets of the crowd trying to cheer on Bálor here. Trying to find something. Trying to find an edge to wake up Bálor right now. But the lights are fading and no one's been home for a while. Trio of Irish curse backbreakers from Sheamus and Lashley to return into this contest now. And there's all the strength in that Irish whip. Thrust kicks into the gut as well. Finn Bálor's ribs and his back just being torn apart piece by piece. Cover made. Bálor gets the shoulder up at 2. He needs to find something right now to get himself back in this one. He is in trouble and then some. He is getting knocked about. Here we go in the corner now. There we go. Finally some life in Finn Bálor. Finally found a piece to the puzzle. Bálor now. Look out. Good drop kick. Using the ropes. Taking out Lashley. Knocking him off his feet. And maybe an opening for Bálor. Lashley trying to recover on the outside. Bálor watching on. And Bálor, oh my God! Tope over the rope. Talk about making the most of an opportunity. Well, Finn Bálor did just that with a huge move that paid off. But oh, Lashley puts the brakes on it immediately. And that back of Bálor once again getting worked over. But there's the speed of Bálor now, slipping his way out of that one. In comes some strikes. Quick strikes from Bálor to the leg. Backstabber now. And he was on the receiving end of a literal one of those at Money in the Bank. As Finn Bálor now maybe thinking of the anger of Money in the Bank, thinking of the anger, the hatred towards the originals, knowing they want to take him out. Finn Bálor spurring himself on with it and maybe looking to claim victory over Bobby Lashley. In he comes. Bloody Sunday! Great strength from Bálor to lift the man almost 100 pounds heavier than him. Bálor slams him down. And he's seeking victory right now. Cover made. But Sheamus was there walking into the ring. And now Sheamus, oh no. Oh, look at that. Bálor sticks the landing of that German suplex and jumps on the moment. DDTing Sheamus into the mat. Both members of the Dangerous Alliance are down. Bálor's still alive. Maybe I spoke too soon. Lashley comes back. Yeah. Bálor gets out of the way though. But the numbers game really started to pile up. And the tag can be made into the fresher Sheamus now. Bálor with no break at all as he's once again worked over. Huge clothesline in the corner. He ain't giving in. That's for certain. Finn Bálor will never give in so long as he can find a way to hang on. And he's doing just that right now. Bálor sending Sheamus outside of the ring. Sheamus hangs on. Well, you can have the same receipt as what Bobby Lashley felt. Drop kick by Bálor, but in comes Lashley. And oh, he takes out Finn Bálor. Sheamus recovering on the outside. Lashley will jump on the opportunity. And now the 2-on-1 advantage shining through to the fullest extent that it could have finished off Bálor right now. Brogue kick connects. And the brogue kick could have done it. Cover from Sheamus. Oh, Bálor kicks out in time. Sheamus thought he had him with that kick, but it wasn't the case. Finn Bálor still in this one, not granting his former brethren the opportunity to see him beaten. Hang on a minute, what the hell? Oh my God! What in the world is the Dangerous Alliance doing? What was that tag team maneuver? Sent on down on him from 6 feet plus in the air. Bálor still able to fight on. And here he goes to the top rope. Bálor could have him. Bálor looking for victory. Coup de grace evaded. Spear! Spear by Lashley. Laid him out. And finished him off. Bobby Lashley wins it. Victory for the Dangerous Alliance, but hang on. Here comes Bobby Roode. Here comes Bobby Roode with a steel chair. An equalizer. Roode chasing off the Dangerous Alliance for the first time since Backlash. Sheamus and Lashley running. Roode standing tall in the ring. That is what I want to see. Roode finally back on Smackdown Live and back with a bang. And back with quite a bit to say about the Dangerous Alliance as well. He wants his revenge from last time out, and I don't blame him one bit. Oh yes! Roode putting out an almighty challenge. Steel cage at Judgment Day for Bobby Fish, and on the Titantron, it's Paul Heyman. Heyman, it would seem, speaking on behalf of Bobby Fish right now. And oh, the typical caveat for the Dangerous Alliance. They accept on one condition. What the hell will that be? Really? Really? That's what runs through the Dangerous Alliance's mind the most? If Bobby Roode loses in that steel cage match, he has to strip himself of sharing the same name as Fish and Lashley. And I agree wholeheartedly with Bobby Roode. That is absolutely signed, sealed and delivered. Bobby Fish, Bobby Roode inside the steel cage at Judgment Day. Roode will get his revenge, but folks, as this episode of SmackDown Live is about to come to an end, I have the announcements to be made. A 6-woman tag team matchup is the first one. Absolution will team with Paige against the Riott Squad at Judgment Day. And But from what we saw at the start of the evening, Ricochet and Dolph Ziggler will collide one-on-one at Judgment Day as well. This is a pay-per-view you don't want to miss this Sunday. Smackdown Live going great guns. But speaking of it, backstage! Marty Skill with a steel chair to Okada. This a preview before their title match on Sunday. Skill can use weapons, Okada can't. Could Judgment Day be the dawning of a black plague of a SmackDown Live?